Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Kim Miller begins now.
Good evening, everyone. The state government is in the firing line over an 18-month delay on the rollout of a poker machine pre-commitment card. MPs are furious with unanswered questions over the setback, while those struggling with addiction await urgent action.
Robert's 20-year gambling addiction led him to losing everything: his family, his house and all of his life savings.
Around about 400,000 plus in that altogether.
The belief he'll win big one day kept him returning to the pokies.
That's the carrot that kept on being dangled in front of me. I get paid on 7 o'clock on a Thursday morning. By 12 o'clock it was all gone.
Tasmanians lose nearly $200 million a year to poker machines. 2 years ago, Treasurer Michael Ferguson announced plans to implement a pre-commitment card by the end of 2024, with preset limits on how much could be spent. But the government now says it will be delayed by 18 months. The company implementing the system, Max Gaming, saying it needs more time.
While we are disappointed that there will be a delay, we want to make sure we get this right, and if they need more time, then that's what they need.
Another 18 months of delay with minimal harm reduction measures, no, bet limits that are at $5, speed limits that are excessive, will just prolong and increase the harm to Tasmanians.
The Hospitality Associations say their concerns about the implementation timeline have been vindicated, claiming Mr Ferguson's decision was made with zero consultation with industry, zero consultation with EGM manufacturers, and more importantly, zero consultation with his own party.
This is another government promise that they've failed to deliver.
For Robert, he's now celebrating 12 years sober, while putting himself in the shoes of those currently battling addiction and what may be lost in the meantime.
To hear that it's going to be put off for a year, I'd go out and celebrate the gamble.
Lily Thompson, 7 Tasmanian News.
A group of Burnie dairy workers is taking its fight for pay parity to Melbourne, having been off work for almost a month. 100 Victorian Union comrades joining their rally outside dairy giant Saputo's headquarters, fighting for the Tasmanian workers to be paid the same as their interstate counterparts.
First a quiet Haven View footpath, then the Bass Highway to a Hobart supermarket, and now the concrete jungle of Melbourne's CBD. The fight for pay parity is growing stronger and more public as 24 maintenance workers from Saputo's Burnie factory cut out the middleman, taking their rally to the back of a truck parked outside the dairy giant's Melbourne headquarters.
It is more expensive to buy a litre of petrol in Tasmania than it is in Melbourne. It is more expensive to go out to a restaurant in Tasmania.
The flight north follows almost 11 months of negotiations, seeking to bridge a 21% gap between their wages and those of workers in the same roles on the mainland.
If it was economically viable for them to pay it across 5 sites in Victoria, then they can pay the same workers to do the same work, the same in Tassie. And that our position's been the same for 10 months.
It's a fight other Tasmanian workers will be watching closely. According to unions, similar pay disparities can be found in many industries.
Being smashed by a cost of living wave and then being told by multinationals who are making billions of dollars off their labour per year around Australia that they just can't sort out these issues of parity.
Saputo telling us it put forward a fair offer on Friday and it intends to resolve outstanding items in a swift and amicable manner. The workers, who've been on strike for almost a month now, are pledging to stay in Victoria until an agreement is reached.
The ball is firmly in their court to convince these workers what their value is. And these guys know what it is. It's written in other agreements and they're not going anywhere.
Nick Kelly, 7 Tasmania News.
A 23-year-old Campania man has been charged with the death of an Australian fur seal after appearing in court earlier this week. Police accuse him of using a firearm against the seal near Richmond, resulting in the animal's death. The man was also charged with multiple other offences, including burglary and firearms. Anyone with information is being urged to contact police. Tasmanians have shivered through the coldest day of the year, with icy conditions sending weather records tumbling. Often a feature of our weather reports, Lyweenie making a name for itself interstate as the coldest spot in the country.
It's the kind of weather which can make it hard to get out of bed.
It's freezing here. Yeah. It's how do you live like this?
But some of us are the type to enjoy a touch of frost.
I think the cold weather's fun. It's nice.
Freezing conditions blanketing the state and further afield. Adelaide recording its lowest temperature since 1908. Closer to home, Launceston woke up to frosted footpaths after a frigid night.
Well, I even said to my husband, go out the front and take a photo because you'll never see it again. It was beautiful.
Some unprepared for the cold.
Yeah, probably a bad choice because it's freezing.
While in Hobart, sunshine made up for single-digit temperatures.
They say it's really cold here, but we're feeling very warm. It's such a beautiful day.
Meanwhile, in the Central Highlands, it dropped to minus 12.9 degrees at 6:06 this morning, colder than in any mainland ski resort. Lyowini's famous for being the coldest inhabited location in Australia. Let's hope the two people living here are rugged up against the chilly conditions. With patches of frost still holding on well into the afternoon, icy roads may pose a danger, while slippery footpaths are also something to keep in mind. Despite the chill, some are keen for the conditions to continue.
And I hope it's like that tonight because we'll be going walking again in the morning and it's lovely.
Annie Green, 7 Tasmanian News.
The government is looking to bump up Tasmania's sluggish population growth with the release of a new action plan. The focus is on livability to turn around those leaving the state and attract overseas arrivals.
Keynote speaker at a State of the State luncheon, the Premier is sinking his teeth into tackling Tasmania's ageing population.
Our median age of 42 compares to the median age of all Australians of 38 years.
Releasing Tasmania's population policy today. From 575,000 people currently, the goal is 650,000 by 2050.
Under the policy umbrella of livability, we will focus on building the family-friendly cities and towns growing families need.
An action plan incorporating election commitments to build the workforce, improve services for young families and boost housing stock by streamlining planning and putting a focus on medium density.
Under their strategy, how are they going to continue to deliver the services that Tasmanians will need into the future?
Young people are moving away in droves. The interstate net migration is as bad as it's been since the 90s.
900 more Tasmanians became mainlanders in 2023 compared to the other way around, helping Tasmania claim the title of the nation's weakest population growth. Key to this new policy is international arrivals becoming more significant.
We want young people from interstate and indeed from right across the world who are Tasmanian, even if they don't know it yet.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmanian News.
The next generation of Tasmanian school psychologists and speech pathologists will soon have another career pathway with the introduction of a new scholarship program. Promised at the election, the state government is offering 20 graduate positions across the state with a $25,000 sweetener.
To let Tasmanians and those working in this profession know how valued they are and how much we want them.
I think the scholarship not only is going to help with the financial costs associated with becoming a psych, but also it just really highlights the fact that our role is valued.
Applications open on July 17. An important life-saving milestone is being celebrated at a Tasmanian private hospital. It's completed 1,000 heart surgery procedures, 6 years since opening a specialist cardiothoracic service.
There's no greater gift than a new lease on life. 63-year-old Tony Bird knows it all too well as Calvary Hospital's first patient to undergo a life-saving heart procedure in 2018.
My whole right side was blocked and I ended up having a quadruple bypass.
Fit, healthy and rarely sick, what was supposed to be a routine heart checkup turned into a heart-wrenching moment.
No symptoms whatsoever, so it was a bit of a shock. I was a ticking time bomb.
Ian Rowbottom found himself in a similar situation, thinking he was in perfect health until he wasn't. But thanks to his valve replacement surgery, he's now fighting fit and more grateful than ever. His surgery marking 1,000 heart procedures for the cardiac ward. 1,000 is a lot of people. I suppose someone had to be that lucky one, and it's me, giving doctors and staff top marks for their care. Both Tony and Ian are among thousands of Tasmanians affected by heart disease, with health data showing it's more prevalent here than anywhere in Australia.
We do have a significant disease burden here in the state, which then translate to more procedures per head of population.
The hospital's cardiac theatre performs around 250 heart surgeries each year, with 10% of those being public patients on waiting lists. Tony has one message.
Please go and check. I think it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier each time.
Rebecca Gaidaneris at 7, Tasmanian News.
Jack Jumpers Championship hero Jack McVeigh has all but named himself in the Boomers Olympic squad with an explosive performance off the bench against China.
He is just making Brian Georgian take note.
McVeigh making his grand return to John Cain Arena, scoring a team-high 24 points with just 13 minutes court time, sinking 6 of 8 three-pointers. Will Magnay recording 3 points and 2 rebounds in the 20-point Boomers victory. The 17-man squad will be trimmed to 12 after they play China again tomorrow night. Things are coming good for the Chargers women, albeit a little late in the season as they win 2 on the trot for the first time this year. It's a promising sign in challenging times.
Having Kayla missing and the extra responsibility, I think, particularly for someone like Chloe Broomhall, who's really stepped up and been a factor at both ends of the floor. And I think just the confidence and the fact that the groups finally got comfortable and found their click with each other.
With 3 games left, time is running out for the Tawns to hit their stride after falling just 2 points short against Diamond Valley.
I think we all just want that one more, to leave on a good note or something. But again, it's just about trying to string together all 4 quarters.
The Chargers men are our only finals hope, sitting 9th on percentage, but tied with 5 other clubs on 11 wins. Jack is back again in the TSL, locking himself in for another appearance for Clarence. It's a huge boost for the already in-form Roos, but a huge setback for the Demons a week after their first win of the season. He might be yet to make his Big Bash debut, but rising star Ian Carlisle is confident he's got the skills to carry the Hurricanes to finals, as the 24-year-old Tigers quick re-signs with the Purple Machine for another 2 years.
You know, the pace that I'm able to bowl at, the way I'm able to swing the ball, will hopefully be able to have an impact for the Hurricanes.
We've also had a sneak peek of the Big Bash schedule. The Canes play their first home match against the Scorchers on December 21. And that's sport tonight, Kim.
Okay, thank you, Nick. Well, Kyle Wicks will join us after the break with the weather forecast.
Good evening. Clear skies and light winds overnight resulted in widespread frost this morning about most of Tasmania, sparing the east coast. 10 degrees for both Hobart and Launceston today, not quite reaching their expected top. Devonport and Burnie 11 degrees. The high 13 recorded on Flinders Island and St Helens, King Island and Friendly Beaches 12, 10 the top for Low Head, Marai Island, Grove and Strawn, Bushy Park 8, Lyweni 7 degrees. Now, as Annie Green reported earlier in the bulletin, the high pressure system has led to some of the coldest conditions on record in Tasmania. Lyweni, officially the coolest place to be in the entire country, plummeting to minus 12.9 at 6 a.m. this morning, the coldest day recorded in July so far. Low cloud is seen around the majority of the island, particularly to the southwest and far south. Low cloud lies about coastal parts of New South Wales and eastern Victoria. Tomorrow, a ridge of high pressure centred over Tasmania will extend south of the Bight. Westerly winds 10 to 20 knots offshore about the south, with southerly winds 10 to 20 knots offshore about the east, with 3-metre swells likely. A road weather alert continues for the northwest coast, central north, northeast, western, the central plateau, Midlands, east coast, upper Derwent Valley and the southeast. Hobart will welcome mostly sunny conditions tomorrow, 11 degrees. Cygnet and New Norfolk are both 10. Jack Frost making an appearance again for the north, Launceston and Devonport 11. Campbelltown a low of minus 5 and a high of 10 tomorrow. Sunny after another frost for Burnie, 11. Partly cloudy for Strawn, 10. Smithton warming to 12 degrees after another below freezing night. Winter sunshine is on the way for St Helens and Swansea, 12. An icy morning for Fingal, 11 degrees there. Frost and valley fog continues as far as Sunday at this stage. But for Friday, light showers expected about the west and far south, with generally light winds. Now they'll turn westerly about the southwest and along the south coast. To the weekend now, Saturday light showers persist about the southwest and far south. Sunday light showers will develop about the northwest in the afternoon. To mainland capital cities now. Partly cloudy and 19 for Perth, fine and sunny in Brisbane, 21. Can you imagine right now an overnight low of 19 followed by a sunny 31 degrees, only in Darwin of course. Cloudy skies in Canberra, 14. Currently in Hobart, partly cloudy, 7 degrees, much cooler in Launceston with 3 degrees and also clear with 3 in Devonport. Record-breaking temps, Kim, overnight, and shortly that puts Tassie back on the map.
Maybe, and proudly so. Thank you, Kai. Well, that wraps up your local news for tonight. Thanks for joining us. Good night, everyone.